think it's interesting how a single face embodies all the different definitions of who you become in one lifetime.
Hi, my name is Joshua Danielson. I've gone through a lot of nicknames in my life. Mr. Brown can move, can you?
You meet someone, and at face value, you sum up who you think they are. But then in one conversation, all those assumptions can become shattered. And what is exposed are fascinating layers of depth and experience.
Once in a lifetime!
Well, friend.
How's it going, buddy?
Good to see you again.
Gonna start with a big hug.
Yeah, we are. Oh, man. Okay, so, here's the thing. So we just met at Outfound. First of all, it's funny because all of us somehow started still hanging out. Basically been shooting content for the company you work for,
Adventure Wagon, yeah.
So here's something cool that I've been doing this week. I am hanging out and doing content for Adventure Wagon, which is this amazing new concoction for Sprinter vans that they're calling the RUVs. And through us doing content for that, like suddenly we just started talking, and it was like, oh my gosh, I think Josh may be my star. Josh may be the guy for this episode, which is like out of nowhere for me.
Oh, the wonderful sounds Mr. Brown can do. He can sound like a cow. He can go.
Give me a little bit of a summary of who you are now, and then kind of where you've been.
That's a big question there, Ron.
I know, right?
When I was a kid, they called me Joshy Watermelon. My mom and dad never let me go to concerts. That's how sheltered I was, you know? And if I would have gone to a concert and just yelled, the roof is on fire. We don't need no water, let the motherfucker burn. But I couldn't say that. We would get spanked if we said the word, you know?
We met at a YMCA summer camp. He was so obnoxious and annoying, but I loved him. He was so little and so dorky. Oh my gosh, you have no idea.
I was a person with a really big heart. Still am a person with a really big heart. But I would also say I was a very self-destructive person. With my addictive personality, always had the best of intentions, but was my own worst enemy. Let me just tell you how all this came about.
Yeah, I'm just intrigued.
Because I think everybody feels a similar story, right? And, and it's weird because nobody's talking about it because we all kind of live in a blissful ignorance right now. He can sound like the rain, dibble, dibble, dop, dop, dibble, 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 dop, dop. And then when I got older, and I was traveling the roads, they called me Retread. I feel that I have a very addictive personality, so I always have this constant anxiety inside of me that always wants more. It's weird, I don't know, we're talking about this and I'm so clear-headed on a lot of things, but on my addiction, I've never been clear-headed on. Well, I know what rock bottom is. I hit rock bottom. Here's a little story about addiction and meth. The first time I ever smoked meth, I was in an apartment. We smoked the meth and instantly, you know, we got that feeling of holy shit, right? I have a felony, right? I got a felony when I was 18 years old. I went and did a big gacker of meth, got really high. The guy we were partying with in a hotel left his wallet. I took his wallet and I went and bought a $100 prepaid card to call my mom and dad because I was on the road for 3 years away from them, smoking meth, doing all kinds of horrible stuff. And then I felt bad about it. I started sobering up. I was like, oh my God, I stole this guy's wallet. So I called him and said, here, let me give you back your stuff. I handed him the stuff and he goes like this and pulled the cops around the corner. So in Colorado, you cannot expunge felonies. Do I regret having a felony? Not a single bit. I've fought for everything that I have, right? You know, a lot of people couldn't handle that, but I've worked 10 times harder to get to where I am today.
And the future is certain. Give us time to work it out.
Now at this point in your life, you feel compelled to do something about it.
I put myself into rehab the last time, right? To get off alcohol and all that stuff. I put myself into rehab to say that I'm going to make a change in my life because this is what I want to do. He can sound like a clock. He can tick. He can talk. Then I got a little older and moved on and I met my wife and she called me honey.
And it was almost exactly 10 years later, we accidentally met at a housewarming party. So a month before we met, I decided I was going to quit smoking pot Well, and he had also got a DUI and quit drinking. Within like literally a couple days, we both quit those things that we had a problem with and then met each other a month later.
If your husband does these things, you hit the marriage jackpot. He puts you before anyone else, including himself. He's a hard worker, he surprises you, and he gives you compliments. I would have to say my wife was a huge rock in my life. Boom, 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 Mr. Brown is a wonder. Boom, 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 Mr. Brown makes thunder. So I have a 2-year-old son, or he's almost 2. He's going to be 2 in August. And now I'm dad. That's what I go by now, or daddy, or dada. There's no playbook on being a dad. None. So when you get thrown into being a dad, you write the script. And I would say the best thing you can do is be there. He got sick with just the norovirus for 9 days. In that time, on day 3 or 4, he had a massive seizure. And my wife actually found him, and he was lifeless. And I got a phone call when I arrived to work that day, and my heart stopped. And I learned at that point that I never could love anybody more than you love your own kids. When I heard that there was the possibility that my son would not wake up again, I've never felt anything like that in my life. My world ended. There was a news article, you know, the election's very divisive, Trump and Hillary Clinton at the time, where we're going at each other. You see a lot more division in the world than you've ever seen before. And there was an article about Russia that triggered anxiety in me that I never had. I went into a massive panic attack. And my wife said, "Are you okay?" I turned white. I was just sick, right? And I couldn't even talk to her because you want to protect your family, right? You want to protect your wife and your kids. And I was like, I don't want her to think or feel how I'm feeling right now. You know, that the world could end tomorrow or something, or we could go into a nuclear war or whatever could happen, right? And I was just in a frenzy. But there's a lot of noise in the world today, and nobody teaches you how to deal with the noise. They just teach you how to hide the noise.
Why is something like giving back helping you deal with the noise?
So what the whole thing led to is not having a purpose, right? When I found myself, I have my wife and I have my son and everything's fantastic, but I didn't have a purpose. I didn't know where I was going. I go to work every day. I look at my Facebook feed, but there's no purpose, right? When I graduated college, I was going to save the world. So I was a student body president at Southern University 4 years ago. What I did is I created a really good executive team that was the team of misfits. So I had people from all walks of life and said, hey guys, we're going to turn this into a student advocacy group. When we started talking about what we wanted to accomplish, I told people to come up with the biggest ideas they could come up with. But everybody said, oh, we can't do that because there's no money, right? We can't get the money for that. And I told everybody at the time, I slammed my hand on the table and I said, stop thinking about money, right? Live your wildest dreams. Come up with it, it will happen. You know, they would come up with the craziest ideas and there was not one idea that we didn't make happen. We can always find money, right? Money should never be something that holds people back. I just know that if you serve your purpose, then it helps your sobriety. Because I don't ever want to forget my past. My past is who made me who I am today. How do I let my 2-year-old know of what path that is? Because you can't really teach it, you have to experience it. If I can teach my son adversity and that the world's not perfect at an early age, so that when he has to deal with this stuff, he gets it, he knows. He'd rather go kite surf than to go snort a line of meth because he knows there's problems in the world and he doesn't just fall on him like a pile of bricks. And so what we did is I kind of said, Shauna, we need to start Spencer's Wagon. Spencer's Wagon is a nonprofit designed to create a ripple effect of kindness. And so how that works is we initially sponsored somebody. They were trying to have a baby in Georgia. They couldn't, so they gave up and said, we're just going to move to Portland to do a whole different thing in life. Got pregnant and had no money. And so me and Shauna bought all of their baby gear. So we bought every single thing and filled their house with everything they would need for their baby stuff. Spencer's Wagon is to teach our son how to give back, to take our son to see the world in the eyes of how the world actually is and not in the eyes of a little box that he lives in every day. In Spencer's Wagon, we've started 365 Days of Kindness.
So for 365 days, you are going to do something good for somebody.
Yeah, and my goal is that it ripples. If you go seek happiness, you're going to find happiness. It's what we should be doing, right?
Yeah.
How many times do we drive past somebody on the side of the road with a broken car and we all keep driving?
I think everybody has good in them. I genuinely think that. I think that we all come from different paths and we all come from different walks of life. What it means to be a good person in general is to take care of other people.
To be a hero to your family, you don't need to wear a cape or fly. A hero to me is a humble man who can let go of a lifetime of mistakes and wake up each morning and try to be better today.
And you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife. And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here?
Buzz, buzz, pop, pop. Cock-a-doodle doo, hoo, hoo, dibble, dibble, dop, dop. Tick tock, knock, knock, boom, boom, splat. Last, a whisper, and that is that.
That is exactly what I need.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. That's a cut. Let's end with a hug, because we're huggers. Love it. Awesome.
Should we leave in our vans now?
On the next Ron Van Life.
Okay, so you're gonna see there's a lot of nakedness here.